Hi, it's Ben from My Cycling Coach. I hope you're doing well and that you're having a great day. So off the back of the video I did yesterday on during ride fueling, so fueling on the bike, as well as post-ride fueling to help with your performance on your rides, as well as speed up that recovery process and help your recovery time after doing longer winter rides. I got quite a lot of questions on how and what you can actually use to hit those specific carbohydrate recommendations and intake recommendations that I mentioned in that video yesterday. So just to recap, when you're out doing these longer rides, they could be 2, 3, 4 hours long, or even longer maybe at the weekend, and the intensity may vary. But as a real basic intake in that video, I said that you want to be trying to consume at least 30 grams of carbohydrate per hour when you're doing these rides. Obviously, the duration and intensity will play a part in this, and in that video I also said if your ride is going over 3-4 hours and you have got some you are needing to maybe perform some high intensity work on that ride, then you may even want to push this hourly carbohydrate intake up to around 60 grams an hour or more, depending on your own personal preference and how much you can consume. And this is maybe then where one of the questions came in, or I had this question quite a lot after that video yesterday, is what can you actually use on the bike to try and hit those recommended carbohydrate intake numbers? So there's a whole variety of sports nutrition products out there. There's some really good ones, and these range from energy bars, energy gels, carbohydrate mixes and powders that you can put in your bottle to help get that amount of carbohydrate in. So I thought I'd just give you some sort of rough guidelines on what you can actually find, or the amount of carbohydrate you tend to find in each of those products. Now, with these products, it is important to bear in mind that there will be a lot of personal preference as well. Some people get on with energy gels, some people don't get on with energy gels, some people prefer taking on bars. Some people really don't like eating really at all on there when they're doing their rides, especially if it's maybe high intensity. You may be better off then focusing on getting a real good quality carbohydrate mix or energy powder into your bottle. So we'll start with energy gels. Energy gels are really good. You can get a real good hit of carbohydrate into the bloodstream, get top up those muscle glycogen levels quite quickly with an energy gel. Most energy gels out there, you'll probably find that there's around 20 to 30 grams of carbohydrate in them. So that is quite a decent hit, and it will probably, if you're taking one of those every hour, it will allow you to get nearly that basic 30 grams in. As I say, if the ride is 3 or 4 hours or of a higher intensity, then you may want to be you're going to want to be taking on something else as well. This is where, as I say, you can then also put some a carbohydrate mix or energy powder into your bottle, and there's a huge range of those out there. But generally, you'll probably find per serving in around a sort of 550 ml bidon or bottle, these energy powders are going to give you between 30 and 50 grams of carbohydrate. Some of them have got a real good sort of carbohydrate profile in them as well. So there'll be a mix of fructose, glucose and maltodextrin, which is really good if you've got that quite broad profile there as well for topping up those glycogen stores and getting that carbohydrate into the muscle. 30 to 50 grams for your energy powders. There are some energy powders out there that will actually give you around 80 grams of carbohydrate per serving, and these are fantastic when you are doing some real long endurance rides that are maybe going even longer, 3-4 hours and beyond. As I say, you really probably do want to be then pushing your hourly intake up to around 60 grams or more, and using a real good energy powder. Then with something like a gel, which I've mentioned with those 20 to 30 grams, will really allow you to get that intake in. There's obviously then a lot of stuff like energy bars, energy bakes as well, which you can use. Again, which tend to fall into sort of 20 to 30 grams of carbohydrate per bar or bake. This does vary, but I've seen a lot of stuff out there, bars especially, sit around the sort of 25 grams of carbohydrate per bar. And sort of my recommendation really, obviously you want to find your own personal preference with this. Like I mentioned in a lot of my videos, you know, there's not one specific one of those products that I've mentioned there that, you know, some will work better for than others for you specifically. So it really is worth testing and trying this in your training. As I say, if it's high intensity, you may really struggle to eat a bar. So that's where you might want to steer towards more the sort of gels and energy powders in your bottle, because you can just get those in and you haven't got, you know, digesting them, you may not have as much of a problem. If it's a bit of a lower intensity but you are still doing a longer ride, that's where you then may want to steer more towards the bars to make sure that you're keeping those carbohydrate stores and that muscle glycogen topped up for your rides, both to obviously help with maintaining and improving your performance on the bike, but as well, like I mentioned in that video yesterday, ensure that you are helping that recovery process. You know, it starts on the ride itself, and if you make sure that you are hitting those targets, then it's really going to be a game changer for you. So yeah, guys, wanted to do that today. Got a question, as I say, what can you actually use to hit those recommendations that I mentioned in that video yesterday? Just a quick recap. You know, energy gels and energy bars, you're normally looking at around 20 to 30 grams of carbohydrate per serving. Then you've got your bottle that you can take on the bike. Most energy powders vary from 30 to 60 grams or 50 grams, but there are some out there that will take you up to around 80 grams of carbohydrate per serving. Yeah, hope you found that useful. If you did, please just drop a like on the post. Feel free to follow, share, subscribe, and any comments, as always. Would love to hear from you if you found this useful. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your riding and speak to you soon.